That is tonight on ESPN. Plus, the Mort Report details the state of the Steelers starting quarterback situation and tracking the Tide's make-or-break week leading up to the Iron Bowl.
First career score, N'Keal Harry. Intercepted by Marvin Gilmore.
Travis Frederick called for tripping.
Now a 4th and 11 for Dallas.
Ball hit the ground. It's incomplete.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to First Take. We're coming to you live from above the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17. With last night's 13-9 win over Dallas, Tom Brady is officially 5-0 against Stephen A's Cowboys in his career. But his individual stats yesterday, yeah, they were lacking. I see you, Max, looking at me. Since week 4, he has had a completion rate, the lowest, 46%, the third lowest completion percentage of his career. On that note, we bring in Ryan Clark, who must be happy after his son, Herm Edwards, the Sun Devils, got that big win over Oregon. How we doing, Ryan?
Doing well. How you guys doing today?
Herm.
Yeah.
I see you, Coach.
I'm very, very happy for Herm Edwards, no doubt about it.
Of course he gets it done in front.
And I'm happy for Ryan, too, because he's my buddy, and he's had a good month. First good month he's had in a long time, but he's had a good month with LSU.
All happening on the college level. Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad.
I'll take it.
All right.
All right, Max, you heard those stats.
Yep.
Does this prove Brady, as in Tom Brady, 6 rings, you've heard of him, is no longer elite?
Yes, it does. Tom Brady is no longer elite. Look, when you talk about the Patriots, you're talking about elite D, not elite QB. You know what Tom Brady's job is? It's to not lose the game. He's a game manager. That's an okay thing to be. That is not a dirty word. You can win the Super Bowl with a game manager. Look at Peyton Manning, who was bad when the Broncos won the Super Bowl. He wasn't as good as Tom Brady is now. They've both fallen off a cliff by that point in their career. Of course, Peyton Manning had an excuse. He had an injury. Tom Brady is he's ancient. And by the way, being ancient is almost equivalent to an injury. Your body can't do the same things anymore. What is a game manager? Game manager is a good decision maker who relies on his defense and luck. That's how the Patriots are winning. I know luck is the residue of design, but the fact is a tripping call. What, with the game on the line, a tripping call? It's like the refs were the ones tripping and slipping, by the way. Tom Brady's job is to not lose the game. He's mid-pack in QBR, and that's with Bill Belichick as a head coach. He's middle-of-the-pack QBR, and I don't hear anyone arguing Tom Brady is elite anymore, unless, Stephen A., you want to.
Well, I'm not going to want to because I understand where you're coming from. I'm just going to highlight the fact that I think this particular season, it's unfair to do that. Now, if we want to sit up there and say and bring up the cliff, what you said 3 years ago, and you meant it 3 years ago,
why are you bringing up facts?
2 years ago, and all of this other stuff, that's a different argument because obviously you were on an island all by yourself, somewhere in the Philippines or wherever the hell you were. It's your brain. I don't know what the hell you were talking about. But if you want to talk about this year, here's what I'm going to say. Let's take a look at what Tom Brady's situation was. I've repeatedly pointed this out about Antonio Brown. Tom Brady was so desperate that a person that was accused of sexual assault, Tom Brady invited into his home and said, you know what, I'll take care of you. Stay right here. Stay right here. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. Let's make sure we keep this man, okay? That's how desperate Tom Brady was for a quarterback, okay? You got Josh Gordon, who's now gone. You got Rob Gronkowski, who's now working on Fox because he retired, okay? And then you look at the weapons that he has here. Of course, Edelman is Edelman. We get all of that. But you've got Jacoby Myers, N'Keal Harry. That was his 4th reception of the season, for crying out loud. Okay, Rex Burkhead is a running back. Mm-hmm. He's catching passes. He's getting targeted 5 times and stuff like that. My God, Lacazette, the tight end, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He caught a pass, He's got 6 receptions on the damn season. Are we going to be fair to a 6-time champion, somebody who's been to 9 Super Bowls? Are we at least going to step back and exercise fairness and go like this? Damn. What is he having to work with this season? Now, yesterday he missed some throws. even though I'm not going to use inclement weather as a total excuse, clearly he missed some throws. But that weather, it was not only raining, it was not only cold, gusty winds and what have you. But
so dramatic.
Hold on, wait a minute, Stephen A.
I know, but
wait a minute. I'm going to pull the Stephen A. You
Tom
want some
Brady-
tissues?
Tom Brady has played.
Weather conditions, inclement weather.
Hold on.
Can you do a
go ahead.
weather report for me one day?
All I'm trying to say to you is this. Take into account what the brother's working with. I'm like, my God, these guys, I've never heard of these guys in my life. And I mean, and based on the amount of time and the amount of receptions they've had, not to have Tom Brady until recently.
Burkhead.
I mean, give the guy some slack.
This is so Max has been on this cliff. You're right, Stephen A. I thought it was longer than 3 years. I thought it was about the time I retired from football where Max was saying that Tom Brady was going to be on this cliff. And so if you walk long enough, you'll fall off. But what happens is when your cliff is as high as Tom Brady, when you are on the top of the mountain, even if you fall down a little bit, it becomes very noticeable. And that's what's noticeable about Tom Brady. We used to feel like Tom Brady could have any set of receivers and he could make them better. He is no longer that player. But this is bigger than just Tom Brady aging out. This is bigger than Tom Brady no longer being elite. This is the change of the game. If you look at the top 7 offenses as yardage goes in this league, they're all mobile quarterbacks. And the one team that's in the top 7 that's not a mobile quarterback is Jimmy G. And they have Kyle Shanahan, who I think is the best play designer and caller in the game. The game has changed. No longer can you just sit in the pocket and be a statue, be statuesque, look over the defense and pick apart teams. You need to be able to move. Tom Brady's never been able to do that. And so now, if you're Josh McDaniels, you have to adjust. You have to use different things. And you're right about his weapons. And you mentioned Julian Edelman. And I think back to probably one of the silliest things I ever heard was after Julian Edelman won the MVP of the Super Bowl, people were saying he's a Pro Bowl, a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He's not Deion Branch. I will play Julian Edelman before I play Deion Branch any day. Tom Brady doesn't have people to throw the ball to. And when you don't have these things and you don't have people that can bail you out, when you don't have a Michael Thomas, as Stephen A. was mentioning that Drew Brees has, it's now based upon what you can do from a talent perspective. And Tom Brady has been great. Tom Brady understands defense. He knows what you need to do as the New England Patriots quarterback in and out. But he can't get away from rushes. There's no one beating one-on-one
I think
coverages.
that's a great point. You're making a lot of great points, Ryan. The game has changed. He's gotten older, and it's like a perfect storm. Plus, he doesn't have the weapons now. But Tom Brady has been one of the luckiest players in the history of American team sports. Don't get me wrong. He would be wait, hold on. Tom Brady would be a great player, no matter where he went. He has that inside him. But he would not be the GOAT had he not been with Belichick. And even this year, you look at it, the Ravens game I predicted was not going to be a real reflection of what was going on. I thought there was a good chance they lose it because I thought Belichick would be probing to throw everything at them, see what works, what doesn't, because he thinks he's going to see him again in the playoffs. Other than that game, 13 points to the Browns, 10 to the Eagles, 9 to the Cowboys.
Right there.
And let me just finish this thought, Stephen A. And the reason I bring up those last 4 weeks is because before that, the questions were being asked. Is this the greatest defense ever? And other than that one game, it's 13, 10, and 9 points.
First of all, the first 7 of the first 8 games, they scored 30 or more. They had 27 against the Browns, and then they nosedive against the Baltimore Ravens.
Easiest schedule.
So basically, the last 3 weeks has been problematic for them. But I want to hear from Ryan this, but I'm going to ask you a question to get a quick answer and then go to Ryan. You talk about Brady and what he is because of Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Well, what is Bill Belichick without Tom Brady?
Bill Belichick could have taken a guy, say, like Phillip Rivers. You need a good quarterback. But when he had Matt Castle, he won 11 games. He would not be Belichick, the greatest coach of all time. I agree.
That's one season.
But Belichick, in other words, if you want to weigh Belichick and Brady, Belichick is a greater coach than Brady is a player. Belichick benefited less from his association with Brady than the other way around. Real quick, Joe Montana and Walsh, right? Montana was 4-0 Super Bowls. Look up the record. 13 TDs, no interceptions.
I don't have to look up the record. I know talent when I see it, and I know that Tom Brady has it. And what I was closed by giving this to Ryan is this. Even though it's a different sport, a lot of people could question Steve Kerr today. we wouldn't think of doing such a thing because we saw what he has done as a coach when he has players.
We know that Kerr has benefited more from his players than the other way around.
Yeah, but still, it doesn't take away from the greatness of Steve
No,
Kerr.
it doesn't take away from the greatness of Steve Kerr, obviously, but now you see that you need both of them.
You need players.
I think Bill Belichick is a better coach than Steve Kerr it is in basketball.
I'm not saying that.
But
I'm not denying that.
The other part about this with Tom Brady is you believe that Bill Belichick can find ways to win without Tom Brady. We saw him go 11-5 with Matt Castle. We saw him go 3-1 during Tom Brady's suspension. But here's the other part. Some of the greatness of Bill Belichick is understanding that we need to move on from Drew Bledsoe to the 6th-round pick, who is Tom Brady, without a certain amount of talent. The last thing is this, and I will ask you guys this. Even with Tom Brady being what he is now, do you believe they can win a Super Bowl? Because I do. And I know it's going to be difficult, but if you go back to last year, when he needed to make plays against Kansas City, late in the fourth quarter, late in overtime, he was able to do it. Also in the Super Bowl, Max made the point, you don't have to be elite.
Listen, I want to go to a question around. I want to go to a question around. Excuse me. In the midst of us calling and recognizing the greatness of Tom Brady, we did see him lose an AFC championship game to Peyton Manning in the Indianapolis Colts. The ball was in his hands, and they couldn't close, and Indy won the game and ultimately beat Chicago in the Super Bowl. There have been great moments where Tom Brady couldn't get it done. I'll close by asking you this question, Ryan Clark. If y'all feel that way about Tom Brady, why has it been that all of these years, knowing he had Bill Belichick, that y'all have been talking about how he's the GOAT? Why have you? Why have you been calling him the GOAT as football players if we're going to now lean back and say, excuse me, Bill Belichick? I mean, that's the reason why.
They can both be the greatest of all time at doing what they do, and that's what they are. And Tom Brady, when you look at a quarterbacks to me are credited with some wins that they don't deserve. But Tom Brady still has 6 rings. He was once the best quarterback in football, which is shown by the MVPs.
He's the
and
GOAT.
when you have all those things, you're the greatest.
He's the GOAT.
At the end of the day, they are 10-1. Wake me up when someone beats them in the AFC Championship game. We really have to go. So I need one-word answer from you here, Ryan, because we talked about this earlier. Who has less to work with right now, Carson Wentz or Tom Brady?
Carson Wentz.
Thank you. Still to come, both the Browns and Steelers got wins yesterday. So which one has the better shot at making the playoffs?
Brady's got more to work with than Wentz.
That question,
I heard it.
That question that you asked was like asking who's the tallest person in the small man's contest. Go ahead.
Plus, the Niners got a huge win over Aaron Rodgers, and the Packers. It's time for Stephen A. to give it up to Jimmy G.